get reparations for folks here, descendants of slaves across this country. And so what we did here in San Francisco was say, look, I can play a role as a lawmaker and putting a committee together to come up with recommendations to achieve reparations for folks here in San Francisco. A lot of folks will say, well, why would you need reparations in San Francisco? These folks weren't, we didn't have slave owners in San Francisco. And there's a lot of things that people don't understand. One, white people in general benefited from slavery, whether it was transfer of property that they may have had the opportunity to have, the wealth that they were able to generate. But there are a lot of policies also here in San Francisco that negatively affected Black folks, and it was because there was a systemic and systematic way to keep Black folks from being successful right here in San Francisco, to keep them from being able to build generational wealth, to keep them from being able to provide for their family. And so we wanted to make sure that we put something in place that looked at what those injustices were. Redlining here in San Francisco. The fact that people don't know, but there was a point in time where individuals that looked like you and me had to pay for the school system in the school district, but didn't have representation here in San Francisco. And again, the fact that we have folks most certainly who migrated from all over the place that were negatively affected from the impacts of slavery, which still affect us here in San Francisco today. We have the biggest wealth gaps here in San Francisco between the Black population and everybody else, the biggest gaps in achievement in terms of education, the lowest home ownership, every bad category, you name it. Black people are either the highest or most certainly at the top of the list for the negative outcomes in those areas. So the task force was put together by folks who may have either been gentrified out of San Francisco, who have suffered from injustices here in San Francisco, and they came up with about 111 recommendations on how to achieve reparations for Black people here in San Francisco. Categories were around home ownership, around education, around workforce development, around health outcomes, and of course around ways to address the disparities and the push of more Black folks in the criminal justice system here in San Francisco. And one of the biggest recommendations that came out was to give each person who qualified for reparations $5 million apiece, which was where the news and the